Jones on duty, in your face, at the hospital, on your screen. What's up, everybody? It's your man, Big Jones, the Juggernaut. We're still on the night shift. We're still making things happen. So, I want to get started on something. I guess might turn into a bit of a series here, or maybe not a series, maybe just a continuing theme of my channel. Obviously, I'm really into fitness. If you don't know already, I am really into fitness. I'm into bodybuilding, like a lot of people are these days. So I wanted to just kind of give you some background and give you a little bit of perspective on me in the fitness realm, I should say. So I've been a fan of bodybuilding since before I knew what bodybuilding was. Watching American Gladiators with my dad at 7, 8 years old. I wanted to be one of those big muscular guys. And, I pretty much started pursuing that as soon as I could. My dad was, he wasn't strict about a lot of things, but, he was, always on the side of safety. He told me I wasn't supposed to work out till you're 15 and your growth plates have a chance to close and you're going to be as tall as you're going to be. I don't know if that's true or not. Some of you guys out there, if you know or not, let me know in the comments, but whatever. I got to training and I did track and field. I was a shot putter all through high school and college. Got out of college and, I just kept working out. I kept training because I thought, you know what, it never hurts to be in shape, Nobody's ever going to say, oh, you're in too good a shape, So I just kept working out, Well, I kept lifting weights. I wouldn't say I was in shape, I got pretty round before I joined the Navy, Then I'm 28, 29, creeping up on 30, and I'm about 315 pounds, and still strong, but, not in very good shape. I wasn't doing much cardio, if any. I think I maybe messed with the step mill once or twice a month. So, when I joined the Navy, obviously I had to, lose weight. I think I ended up losing like 50 pounds, something like that. But I went into the Navy at around 230 pounds. And I think I originally, when I got into the DEP program, I was in maybe the 280s. So I did lose a considerable amount of weight. So, I took that and I started bodybuilding. So by the time I got to my first duty station, I was separated from my wife. Not separated, but, geographically separated from my wife. I was stationed in San Diego. She was living in Phoenix. We weren't married yet. So that's what that was. But, with nothing really to do and, just wanting to stay out of trouble, I ended up doing my first 2 bodybuilding competitions while I was stationed here in San Diego, and they went pretty good. It wasn't really what I expected. Bodybuilding shows, at least the 2 shows that I've been a part of, they weren't really what I expected. I don't know, I guess in my idealism, in my mind, I expected there to be this great camaraderie between big guys, like, yeah, I'm finally going to be around like-minded people. I've been made fun of my whole life for being too intense, if that makes any sense. I don't know. I'm in the gym, I make a lot of noise, I'm big and sweaty, but, I put in max effort no matter what I do, and it seems like people aren't comfortable with that. I don't know. Do you feel like that? Let me know in the comments. But I figured with bodybuilding, going to a competition, I would finally be around like-minded people who felt the way I did and were big, sweaty, grunting guys, and it would be great. Wasn't really like that. There were 1 or 2 people that were kind of chill that I kind of vibed with, and we had a little conversation. But, yeah, for the most part, everybody's just really like, really intense, which to me is weird because, on the day of the show, like, what more can you do? I can understand being intense and not talkative in the gym when you're training for a competition, but once you're at the competition, you can't really do anything else except, put tanner on and, glossy stuff and, get pumped up backstage. That's all you can really do the day of the show. So I don't know why be a dick about it, but I don't know. That's, some people are just that way. But anyway, I had a pretty good showing for my first time out. You know, I definitely learned a lot of things. Again, I dropped a considerable amount of weight. I think I got all the way down to like 211, which is literally what I weighed in the 8th grade. I mean, I'd always been kind of a heavier guy. I've always been taller, you know. But, yeah, dropping my weight all the way down to 211 for that competition was crazy. And while I'm talking here, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys some photos from my bodybuilding competitions, you know. Put them down in the corner there for you guys to look while I'm running my mouth. But anyway, so the last competition I did was in 2014, and you know, the reason I stopped competing is because for 2 reasons. One, doing these competitions gets really expensive, you know, especially if you're gonna do it, you know, year after year or maybe a couple of times a year. It ends up being really expensive. I mean, forget just gym memberships and whey protein. I mean, you know, you have all your supplements. That's an expense. You know, you get your tanning and your posing trunks. And what I did, I went through the NPC, the National Physique Committee, and you have to pay an annual dues, which at the time was like $150. And then on the day of the show, you know, everything is real closed loop, so they want to get their money any way they can. So another way is pictures. You know, you have to buy pictures. I mean, we still took pictures backstage, but, you know, to get the professional pictures taken the day of the show, that's like another $100. And then for every category you want to compete in, because you can actually compete in multiple categories, that's another $150. So, I mean, right there, the day of the show, that's like $400, you know, so plus food and everything. It's very expensive to compete. I mean, on paper, it should make your lifestyle less costly, but it could be very expensive. But that's not even the problem. The problem is it's very expensive, you know, on your family, because, you know, the most precious commodity is time. And when I was competing, man, you know, I mean, you're going to the gym. I mean, when I had my best physique, which of the 3 shows I did was definitely my second show, is where I had my best physique. And man, I mean, I was going to the gym 10 times a week. I mean, I'm talking, you know, cardio in the morning and then lifting in the afternoon, like every day. And it's just not a lifestyle that's really conducive if you have a family. And at the time, I had a very young family. Well, I hadn't had my family yet, but, you know, my son was like 10 years old. My wife and I had recently gotten married, and we were, you know, expecting a child. So it's really hard to be away and, you know, be at the gym. Oh, okay, I'm going to run to the gym. You know, you miss a lot of that time, especially now. My kids are, you know, my son is 18. He just turned 18. My other 2 boys, one's about to turn 6 and one's about to turn 7. So being away at the gym all that time, it's just not conducive to, you know, a family man. But I still have the bug. You know, I still love bodybuilding. I loved competing, and I never won a competition, and I wanted to win one. Not just compete, but of course, you know, you want to win. Everybody's competing to win. Nobody competes for second place. So that having been said, my idea was, you know, when I turned 40, I would do a Masters show, because, you know, I figured I had the best chance to win that, because whenever you go to a competition, you want to, you know, if it's a Masters, you want to be the youngest. If it's, you know, you're going heavyweight, you want to be at the top of the bracket. You know, you always want to give yourself the best chance to succeed. So I thought doing a Masters show would be a cool idea. Plus, it's a neat way to cap off being 40, you know, show, hey, I'm in great shape and I'm 40 years old. So that's what I'm working on right now, but I don't think I'm going to end up competing again. You know, I've got such great stuff coming down the pipeline this year, you know. I'm about to buy a car. My wife and I are about to go on our 10th anniversary. We're taking this great cruise, you know, so we're saving money for that. You know, there's things I'd rather do than spend my money on a bodybuilding competition. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but there's other things that are more important to me. But, you know, if I had to give some advice to people, just, you know, do as much research as you can. There's so much stuff. There's so much stuff on Facebook and YouTube, great stuff by great bodybuilders, you know. That's all I did is I followed their example. I've talked about this before, but Frank Zane is my favorite bodybuilder because he has a physique that I feel like is, you know, that you could actually achieve naturally. I don't know if he was natural or not. I assume he wasn't. I mean, he was a 3-time Mr. Olympia, shredded, incredible physique. I don't know if he was natural or not. I mean, it really that doesn't matter. I mean, I don't care if he was natural or not. But, you know, that's a physique that I feel like is attainable, you know. So, for me, you know. But, you know, if I had to give any advice, you know, just follow their lead, you know, follow the lead of guys who came before you. I mean, that's good advice if you're trying to do anything. So, all that having been said, I wanted to talk a little bit about, you know, the demon du jour. Seems to be going on, you know, every year there's a big scandal. Every year there's something, you know, going on about it. And I think now is a great time to talk about it because, man, these bodybuilders are dying left and right. I saw, I didn't actually watch the video, but there was a video on YouTube that came across my stream that, like, in the last year, like 35 professional bodybuilders have died. Don't quote me on that figure, but whatever it is, it's high. It's crazy. These pros are dropping dead. Sean Roden, Cedric McMillan, 2 huge bodybuilders up top, way on top of their game. You know, Sean Roden was dealing with some other stuff, but I mean, he was a Mr. Olympia champion, and he's dead. And he wasn't even 50. You know, Cedric McMillan, you know, I don't think he was in his 40s yet. I mean, it's incredible. You know, these bodybuilders are dying left and right. And first thing everybody, of course, says is steroids, you know. I don't know anything about steroids. If you want to know about steroids, there are way better channels out there to get information from. You know, More Plates, More Dates is the first place I would go. That guy seems pretty knowledgeable. I don't know anything about steroids, so I'm not here to talk to you about what steroids. I've never taken steroids in my life. I mean, you can believe me or not. I don't really care. But just going to give you a little bit of my experience, I guess, with steroids. When I competed in college, I know I competed against people that were on steroids. I competed against people on my own team that were on steroids. They never, you know, because when you're a shot putter, when you're a track athlete, it's very much an individual sport. So people aren't going to really be too forthcoming about what they're doing. You know, even your own teammates are going to be a little cagey on what they're doing. So that's not uncommon. But when I got out of college, man, I was mind blown. You know, every gym I have ever been to, I've been offered steroids. That is a fact. Whether it was on base or off base, every gym I've ever been to, I have been offered steroids at least once. I don't know if that means because they think I'm on steroids or because I need steroids. It's probably the latter. Like, man, this guy needs help. Let me help him out. But, yeah, man, they're so prevalent. It is much more prevalent than I realized it was, you know, and I'll tell you, the first time I got offered steroids, like really offered steroids, I was in Phoenix, Arizona. I was working out at a 24-hour fitness on Bell Road, and there was a guy in there. He's a bodybuilder, just like me, and bodybuilders recognize when people are of like mind. So he saw me throwing up big weight, and making noise, getting loud, and so he figured I'd be a good candidate or a good customer, I guess. So he comes over to me, he says, "Hey man, come check out my my Ford Mustang," and I'm like, "Why?" So I told him, maybe after my workout. And he's, "Oh, don't worry about it. I got to go anyway. But hey, tomorrow, what do you drive, man?" Well, I drive a Mitsubishi Spider. Like, "Oh, okay. Next time I see you, I'll park next to you." I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, "Oh, okay, man, whatever." Weird. So next day, he parks his Mustang next to my. I had a Mitsubishi Eclipse at the time, and he catches me in the parking lot and he lifts up his trunk and there's all these little vials. And I'm like, oh, that's what we're doing. Listen, I don't know anything about steroids, but anything I've ever learned anywhere in school or anywhere says don't buy stuff from a guy you met in the gym and inject it into your body from something you got out of his trunk. That is a bad idea, okay? Again, I'm not an expert, but I think any objective person would agree that that's probably pretty decent advice. Don't take anything from weirdos at the gym and inject it into your body. No go. Bad idea. So I did not buy anything from him, and but yeah, that's been my experience. Every gym I've ever been to, I was surprised the first time that it happened on base, because what ends up happening is that then that person that you say no to, it's almost like you turned them down for a date, because now it's awkward. Now it's like they have some kind of like, oh, that guy's not cool, or, that guy's, I don't talk to him. And, I don't know. It's a very weird culture, and it's a very weird dynamic. I think it almost seemed like he took it personally. Like, oh, well, I know he's on steroids, but he doesn't want to buy them from me. That's fucked up. I don't know, but that's the vibe I got. So very, very strange. The other thing about steroids, and the reason why I don't take them, is is the side effects, man. That's just simple. It was a no-brainer to me. I mean, the main reason that I don't take steroids is because I always believed that I could do it without it, no matter what I was doing. Because I'm a workhorse. If my dad taught me anything, it's work your ass off to get what you want. And I figured, you know what? Hey, if that's all it takes, that I can do. I'm not really born with any raw talent. I'm not really genetically gifted in any way. The whole genetics versus hard work scenario. But I know I can bust my ass in the gym, 6-7 days a week. I know I can do that. So that should be enough, right? And that's the whole reason I don't take steroids, Plus they're expensive, and I'd rather buy other stuff with my money. But yeah, so the side effects were enough to turn me away from doing steroids. There's a situation in Guam. I knew this guy was on steroids, but I didn't realize to what degree. So there's this cat in the gym. He's working out with his girlfriend. That's cool. Actually, it's not cool. I hate when guys work out in the gym up under their girlfriends the entire time. It's just, I call them gym dates. It's really weak, and I wish you guys would stop doing that, but to each his own. So this guy's in the gym with his girlfriend, and pretty good physique. He's got pretty, muscular up top. He's got, he wears long pants, so I can't really see the definition in his legs, but he's got a nice back. He's got some good arms, Asian dude, pretty yoked, so hey, that's cool, whatever. So, cool with me. I talked to him a couple times, seemed like a cool dude, and back and chest are just covered in acne, just bad acne, really bad, like almost look like makeup, like someone who caked on a lot of makeup, like you could kind of flake it off if you wanted to. Really gross. So anyway, that was him, and I saw him, for a few months. And then I didn't see him for a while. I didn't see him for probably a couple of weeks. Just disappeared. And when I saw him again, it was maybe 2 weeks later when I saw him again, that guy had lost 40 pounds. Gone. I don't know if he got sick. I don't know if he ran out of his stash, but the only thing I know that will lose that amount of body weight in that amount of time is getting sick, or you were taking steroids and you got off them. That is, and he had on a hoodie and everything, so I couldn't really tell if the acne had gone away, but man, yeah, he'd lost a considerable amount of weight in a very short time. So why do all that work? You're taking steroids, you're shooting up every day or every other day. You gain all this muscle mass, and then you stop taking them for 2 weeks, and it's all gone? Well, fuck that. What's the point? So, I think he probably just wasn't doing them correctly. On Guam, who knows what you can get on there? I'm sure you can get whatever you want. But I think he was probably not very educated. And that if I could sum it up into one sentence, that's why I don't take steroids, because I know nothing about them. I know nothing about them. I don't know where to get them. I mean, if I were I'm such a square, I don't know where to get drugs, man. I've no experience with drugs. I've never snorted anything. I've never smoked anything, legal or otherwise. I had my first alcoholic beverage when I was 26. If that gives you any indication of how much of a square I am. Hell, I'm a square because I keep using the word square, like 1950s. So, yeah, my whole experience with steroids is very, very limited, but I can tell you that they are prevalent, man. I mean, especially these days. I mean, I'm sure it's been like this for a long time, but I don't know. I can't get into that culture. It seems like it's sort of an underground, thing that's right in front of your face. It seems like it's going on everywhere, but it's still kind of hush-hush, like nobody talks about it, which is unfortunate because we really should be talking about it, man. These guys are dropping dead one after the other. If I'm on steroids and I'm seeing what's happening around me, the first thing I'm going to do is run to my doctor like, hey, listen, I know I'm taking this stuff. I know I'm not supposed to, but I don't want to end up like one of those guys, so I'm coming clean. Check me out, do whatever you got to do. But I don't want to end up like one of those guys. So that's my personal advice to you. If you are on steroids, please be careful. And it's not worth, having 24-inch biceps is not worth killing yourself over.